Die in these streets, family. You take another, we gotta offset to set up the plan of our destruction.
But they out of control because these men, when they perverted.
Stop the violence! 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 With just a few good men and a few good women, we can bring about a revolution in our city that you are seeing taking place here today. We see that downtown cleared out with all the dope pushers, with all the pill pushers, with all the gangbangers. We ran their ass out of town. We ran them out of town. They left from you because when they see the peacemakers show up, when the peacemakers show up, they run out of town. This is how we want to do the whole city of North. We want to march up in the hood and shut blocks down by blocks, shut them down and run their asses out of town. We can no longer as black men. As black men, if you call yourself a black man. And what does that mean, a black man? To stand up in your community and allow for all the women and our children to be murdered. Those days is over, black family. We can't let little babies 2 years old being shot. We can't let all the women 18 years old being gunned down. And as black men, we do nothing about it. Nothing about it. What type of man have we become today? What kind of race have we become today? We're genocidal where we murder and kill our own brothers, shoot our own women, kill our own children. Have we become that barbaric? Have we become that savage? Have we become that cold, that callous, that we don't feel the pain and suffering of our people?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Too Many Miles. I'm your host, Wesley Lowe. Thank you for tuning in. And before we get started, I'd like to send our prayers out to all of the Hurricane Sandy survivors, victims, and the loved ones who may have expired during such a tumultuous event. But later on in the program, there'll be contact information for donations if you'd like to make them, and to check in on people, and just keep your prayers out there for my brethren out there in New Jersey. That's my home state, and you know, we really need the assistance right now, and your prayers really go far. As the show came on, you saw some footage from a program or a movement that I attended this summer. I call it Occupy Broad Street. The footage actually came directly from the two major intersections located in the center of the epicenter of Newark, New Jersey, and the intersections of Broad and Market. For those of you who don't know, those are the major intersections in Newark, New Jersey. Very powerful stuff, and during the program, you'll have the opportunity to experience more footage from that program. So just pay attention. As always, we're gonna bring it to you live. Also, we have an excellent dance group from Newark on the program today. The group goes by the name of Infamous. The footage you're going to see, they were at Essex County College, located in Newark, New Jersey, and they just rocked it. You know, so just go ahead and try and catch up to their dance steps. You know, you might be able to waltz, but I don't know if you can do what they do. Today's show is on urban violence. Can it change? Will it change? And how can we change it? We bring you the perspective. Bring it to you from the perspective of two types of education. One education in the classroom from a privately owned school, Mrs. Darrell Von Williams, and also from a martial arts standpoint, from Kung Fu Kwan, Master Shahid brings it to you from a perspective of how discipline is not the enemy of success, but it's the foundation. So, and also, you know, at the end of the program, as usual, Mr. Reginald Hinton will give us another piece of information that is important to us. I believe this one is on taxes, so pay attention. And I'm not going to hold you up any longer. I'm going to let you go ahead and get to that program. And our first guest, Mrs. Darrell Vaughn Williams, but she'll let you know who she is. All right? Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
I'm Darrell Vaughn Williams, and I own and operate the Vance County Learning Center. It's a private school, and specifically, I want students who are having a difficult time in the public school system, whatever the case may be, whether it's academic, behavioral. Our setting is, I think, more conducive to learning because the class size is very small, and we can identify whatever the issues are. And sometimes the issues are just as simple as, I don't understand the curriculum, you're moving too fast, or I came in late, or I went to the bathroom while you were explaining that concept and I don't get it. So then I feel left out. I feel the need to compensate and perhaps overcompensate.
I told you she could introduce herself. Mrs. Williams also gave her viewpoint on the standard school curriculum.
There's nothing necessarily wrong with the curriculum. It's the pace at which the curriculum is delivered. And it's the ability of the instructor to deliver that curriculum. If the instructor is given the freedom to deliver that curriculum in a way that benefits and speaks directly and emotionally to the class, then any curriculum can work. It doesn't matter what that curriculum is. But if there's some outside hand telling the instructor what to teach, how fast to teach it, regardless of the people in the classroom. Some teachers just, okay, here's my lesson plan, here's the curriculum that is delivered, and my head teacher is telling me that we have to be here during the second semester. And by the end of the semester, we have to be able to test you. And not only that, whatever I'm teaching you in class, I'm not testing you on that. So still, even if you were with me during class, when you see the test, it's like, oh, whoa, what is this? So, yeah, the curriculum needs some tweaking, but basically that's only going to happen if the parents have the skills and the ability and the time to get into the school system and insist. But at least as far as North Carolina is concerned, the PTA, which is the Parent Teacher Association, is basically run by teachers. And if a parent is there, that parent is in the minority. And that parent, in a lot of cases, does not feel free to speak out about curriculum because the teacher is going to look at you like, I have college and you barely graduated high school. So you feel you don't have the personality or the ammunition to go up against that teacher and say, excuse me, got a problem with this. And then be able to affect change.
I also asked Mrs. Williams if education can help redirect the flow of violence. Here's what she said.
Oh, absolutely. Because if I can tell you to go to hell in such a way you actually look forward to the trip, there is less violence. But if I lack the vocabulary necessary to get you back off of me or to communicate with you, then you leave me no recourse but to fight you or to shoot you.
Do you experience a major problem with gangs at your school?
Well, I call them gang wannabes because a lot of these children have not left this county and they're influenced by people who have lived in other places and they brought that gang influence. And these people who come to this area are here because they couldn't hang in a real gang-infested environment. But they come here with just a little of it, and here they're the king dog because they're more violent than the little country kids who are here. So therefore, there are a lot of gang wannabes because the thing is, you can't really have a very strong, serious organization, whether it's crime or otherwise, if your leader is not an alpha male, if your leader is not really a leader. You know, your leader is somebody running from the heat. So you do have those references where they don't want a red book or they don't want a blue book, and I tell them, I go, listen, we don't have that. At one point I had blue uniforms on. There were kids who could not go to their neighborhood wearing their uniform because they literally get beat up going through other neighborhoods to get to their neighborhood. And they would hide their shirts, they'd wear it around their necks. I mean, they would not wear blue. And so we went to a black, so that because that gang wannabe or gang activity, you can't deny it. It does exist. And somebody who wants to be a gang member, they can hurt you just like somebody who is seriously a gang member who is not going to school during the day. Because I tell them, so gang members don't go to school during the day. They hang, and they sell drugs, and they do prostitution, and they do all sorts of things. They steal. They don't go to school and then do gang banging on the part-time. Gang bangers, that's what they do. I mean, if you're at home at night with your parents watching TV, you're not a gang banger.
The next question I asked Mrs. Williams is, does she feel that parents may be a little too aggressive towards their children? Here's what she had to say.
Well, if you're talking about minority parents, they like to beat you physically. And that in itself says, if I'm bigger and stronger than you, or feel I'm in more authority than you, then I can bring physical harm to you. So then you can't say, don't go to school and fight when you fight me. Or I'm going to beat you up, you know what's going to happen if you get home. Well, you're speaking violence. Well, if you're speaking violence, then why can't I do violence? So parents, I think, have to educate themselves, first of all, because I have parents who can't read. So they don't know whether the child's homework is done or not, and they can't help the child. So it's very hard for you to be in that parental position if you don't have anything to offer. You can't help that child with homework, and then if you're not smart enough to try to say, okay, I can't read, but I'm going to take you to a tutorial place or someone who can read, and then we're gonna work this out, because education is more important, and I don't want you to be like me. You've got a lot of parents in denial. That's why we started an adult education component, where in 39 weeks we help adults to get through high school. And it brings a totally different understanding. It improves the dynamics between a parent-child relationships, and they're both moving forward.
Mrs. Williams also answered a question on violent video games and the effects that it has on a child's mind. And here's what she had to say.
What it is, it's another reality. And what it does is it anesthetizes or inoculates you to violence. So therefore, it's sort of like the cartoons where, the coyote flattens anybody out or tries to flatten himself out, and he jumps back up again, and he's ready to run after the roadrunner again, and he's okay. What it makes children believe is that if I shoot you, I ain't killing you. You'll come back, and then we can continue this the next go round, and that's an unrealistic reality. So therefore, everything in moderation, including television, including violence, including porn, including anything. And the parent has to learn how to deny themselves, because you can't have all this stuff going on within your household and feel as though and believe that it's not going to impact your children, because it will. And once they have no problem with killing you, and we have arrived at the day in reality where you can sit in Washington and send a drone to kill people and get up at 5 o'clock and go home and have supper with your family. You don't have to fly over and see bodies all over the place and little children trying to pick up their mothers without their heads. I mean, so we're quickly getting to that place in our lives anyway, and it's a very dangerous thing. It's a very dangerous thing. It means that we can end ourselves without even realizing we are ending ourselves. I mean, we have people here who are believing that there are no climate changes. It has nothing to do with us, that there's no polar cap warming. I mean, when the pictures are right there, all you have to do is go on the internet, and it's right there in front of your eyes. It used to be white, and now it's brown and green. So, but yeah, everything within moderation. And yes, killing is killing. It doesn't matter whether you're doing it on a video game, or whether you're thinking it in your head, or whether you're actually doing it. Because, I mean, once you perceive, like, what does the Bible say to you? It says, even the thought of, whatever the mind can perceive, the mind can achieve. And if that's negative, then that's negative.
I'd just like to thank you, Mrs. Williams, for taking the time out to give us some information on our program. And we look forward to seeing you on a future program. And I just really want to thank you for providing us with the information. And I want to thank you, and just want to tell you, don't turn the dial. Same 2 Many Miles channel, same 2 Many Miles YouTube. We'll be back with Master Shaheed.
Will we develop positively, or will we be consumed by the external forces of destruction and the internal forces of self-destruction. We have to stop the murder in our community. We must make it clear. It must become part of our culture that it's wrong for a brother to kill a brother. We must make that our watchword. We must make that our slogan. We must not kill our brother. We must not kill our sister. We must not kill our people. We must protect our people. We must be protectors of our community. And we can't play into the game that is going on right now. Not only are we oppressed, but people profit from our oppression. The prison system, the criminal industrial system, the criminal justice system is becoming a new system of slavery. And we must do everything to make sure that we don't support that system of slavery. Right now, in our prisons, in our federal prisons, in our jails, in our county jails, in our state prisons, in our local jails, on probation, in halfway houses, there are more black people under the authority of the criminal justice system than there were enslaved in 1860. In 1966, there were 100,000 black men in federal prisons, roughly 1/10 of our population, equal to our percentage of the U.S. population. In less than a quarter of a century, that is increased from 100,000 to 1.2 million black men just in federal prisons alone.
I mean, I told you that was some powerful footage and very important for you guys to see. Just keep listening, because there's a lot of good things that these individuals took their time out to come and speak to everybody about. But just stop the violence, start the peace, love each other. All right, there's nothing wrong with love. But our next guest, Master Shaheed, he also doesn't have a problem introducing himself. So without further ado, I will let Master Shaheed tell you who he is.
Good evening, good morning, good day, peace be unto you all. My name, I have many names, as I've said before. Master Shaheed means one who bears witness to truth. Kwekubanso means smart, intelligent warrior. And Oladun, which means warrior for the people. I greet you and the greetings of peace of Assalamu Alaikum, which literally means peace unto you, peace be unto you. The same language, the same words that Jesus, Moses, Abraham, and all the prophets of God spoke and stated coming into the presence of God's creation and beautiful people. So, and good day.
Master Shaheed also went on to explain to us about the family discipline in other countries.
Most of the Eastern families, Japan, China, Korea, the martial arts was part of the family lineage, part of the institution of training of discipline and respect that was introduced into the family. Contrary to popular belief, the martial arts has a lot of merits in it. And when you're young, develop a certain amount of inner discipline and respect and confidence. Wish it could be implemented into our school systems, but we have the ideology that it trains kids to be violent. Contrary to popular belief, that is so far from the truth. Do you have a lot of violence occurrences in Korea, China, Japan? No. I've walked the streets of those cities, those countries, and at nighttime you feel safer than you would in most countries here, or most cities, states here in this country. Robbery is an all-time low there, theft, break-ins, just drive-bys are unheard of in most of those civilized parts of the world. Something we need to look at a little closer. What is it, or what are we missing as a developing country? We're still developing. Hopefully we're developing for the positive and not being as destructive as we are.
When martial arts are properly taught, do they help with a person's behavior?
Martial arts gave me so many tools and confidence to build on. And if we can use the proper tools and the proper perspective, then yes, we can help our youth to overcome their weaknesses, build up their confidence, and to guide them on some path of focus, discipline, and of course, by all, respect for oneself. If one doesn't respect himself, then they can't respect anyone else.
Master Shahid also answered the question whether bullies have weaknesses or not.
We all have weaknesses. As we say in our student pledge, we try to overcome our weaknesses to develop the inner strength in ourselves. I pledge to always strengthen my body, mind, and spirit to overcome my weaknesses. I will never be the aggressor. With God's help, I will make the right decisions in using my martial arts to defend myself only if necessary. And defending ourselves, first of all, by setting example, using our mind and communication. Another aspect is to coming together as a community, as an individual. We have to develop a certain amount of plan. And we teach also in our school that the mind, thought, travels at 24 billion miles per second. That's boom, here, before you even imagine. Thought travels. When I say thought travels at 24 billion miles per second, of course, our number one weapon, we have to internalize, think before we speak. Our tongue is subjugated. It's subjected to our mind. So we have to put the tongue engaged with our mind before we speak. And we say some awful things to each other. We hurt ourselves by speaking with that double-edged sword, that tongue, swinging both ways, cutting each other up. And eventually that person drops into their lower self, their feelings, and you won't have a self-destruction mentality of destroying because she didn't or he didn't look at me right. They didn't speak to me right. Well, these things we have to take to a high level and equip ourselves with what we say a checkup from the neck up.
Master Shahid also went on to speak about universal law and spiritual principles.
The number one law of the universe, and that is motion. I got to motion here, to come here to present to you what how I have come into the martial arts, what is given to me. The number one law of the universe, again, is motion. The number one law of nature is self-preservation. Now, once we get motion, we get things moving. Sometimes we move erratically. We move in different directions, not knowing where we're going, not knowing where we're going exactly without a proper plan. Well, the number two law of the universe is order. Once we put things in order, that's very important. Putting things in proper order and perspective with due respect to all the principles and all the things that are around us, working in harmony, respecting each other. So all of these elements, when it comes to making something happen, you put it in, you think about self and loved ones, of course, and kind. Then you think about the law of the universe, motion, you're putting things in motion with the proper spirit. That's important. The proper spirit, you say, well, what do you mean by proper spirit? Well, again, we talked about the etymology of the word. Spirit comes from the Latin word spiritus, which means life force, that energy that's inside of us. It can be positive, it can be negative. Our actions can be positive or negative. Depends on, a lot of times, how we are internalizing our surrounding, our environment, what's going into us. Negative music, lyrics and words and influences by people, our peers, can bring about negative reactions. Thank you, and I leave you as I came before you in peace. As we say, and Jesus and Moses and all the prophets of God stated, peace be unto you, and we say in the Arabic language, assalamu alaikum, which means peace be unto you. In Japanese, sayonara, and many different languages in the world which I can say, but I just want to say thank you, and may God be with you all. Peace.
Master Shahid, I'd just like to say thank you for giving us this interview, for weighing in on the subject from a standpoint. We know that you have many other facets of life, but thank you for weighing in on it from that disciplinary standpoint and being a true master in life and a truly informative individual. We thank you for that, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. And we thank you, and we hope that our guests were provided the information that you were looking for. And don't go away, because we'll be right back. We've got a lot of things for you, so stay tuned.
Real gangsters don't kill children. Real gangsters don't kill women. Study your history. Study the gangsters that you look up to. And show me their history of them killing women and killing children. But we have become a coward generation today. We have become a group of men of cowards. The iron women are on the front lines for us. There should be over 1,000 black men out here today. But we are too cowards. We're too cowards to stand up for justice. We're too cowards to stand up for one another. But if you had Negro rappers like Lil Wayne, you Negroes will be published in this circle to see a nigga that ain't got nothing to tell you, ain't got nothing to offer you. We rather give death and destruction to our people, but you can't bring about life. You can't give life to our people. You only can give destruction and death to your own people, man. Wake up, black man. The time is yours, and the time is now. We can't wait for nobody else to come and do it for us. We do this because we love you more than you hate yourself, black man. We love you more than you hate yourself. You don't understand what we do when we do it. We do this because it's out of desire, a necessity, and a demand that we do this. We can't sit by quietly when our babies are dying, when black women are being shot. That's the future of our race. Do you not know? We had men and women that fought blood and died for us during the month of August. This is Black August. This is a month that we paved the trail for us to be liberated. You had men and women that was fighting for us for centuries. The Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who said, "Up, you mighty nation, you can accomplish what you will," and gave us the red, black, and green. We had a young man like Jonathan Jackson who said that we will give freedom. We will take freedom. We won't sit by quietly while they lock us up unjustly. We will stand up. Learn your history, black man. Your history is all that we have. Learn who we are as a people. Understand how we got here. We didn't come on a Mayflower. We didn't come here by choice. We came here by force. We came in a hole of slave ships, and they always wanted to see us slaves today. They brought us to be burden bearers for white America. They never intended for us to be a free people. But look at us today. Look at us today becoming our own worst enemy. When you had these crackers who used to rape our women, who used to take our pregnant women and cut their stomachs and rip the babies from them, who used to take our men and lynch them from trees and murder us on a daily and consistent basis, who would take young men for looking at white women and mutilate them, cut their penis off, put it in a pickle jar, and say this is what happened to a nigga who looks at a white woman. These are the things that they've done to us. And now the very things that they've done to us, we are doing to ourselves.
Yeah, you knew that beat was coming. Y'all know it was coming. Yeah, all right. You know I had to bring it back at least once. Again, I'd just like to thank Brother Qasim Samad, Mad Base Media, East Orange, New Jersey. Let's go. Now, here we go. As promised, these kids are infamous, but they're famous. So I hope you can try and keep up with their dance steps, because this is not your mother's waltz. This ain't no 4-step. This is more like the 20-step. All right? But here they go. Ball. Let's go.
which way we go, I go. Which way we go, I go. Give me my space. Get back, take that. Get back, my space. Get back, take that. 2 big pound, take that. Get back, take that. Get back, my space. Get back, take that. 2 big pound, take that. Get back. Please give me my space. So that 2 back, my face. So that 2 back, my space. Get back, take that. And please give me my space. So that 2 back, my face. So that 2 back, my space. Get back, take that.
Now reached our financial segment. Mr. Hinton is going to speak to you about taxes, you know, some forms you may have to fill out and how to avoid from getting yourself audited. It's very important what he's speaking to you about. All right, pay attention as always, and go ahead, Mr. Hinton, take it away.
All right. Hello again. My name is Reginald Hinton with Reginald Hinton CPA, formerly known as Hinton Accounting and Tax Service. Last week we talked a little bit about reconciling your bank account and balancing your checkbook. If that was a little bit too complicated or whatever, you know, you can drop by my office or give me a call, you know, set up an appointment, and I will go through that with you, you know, free of cost, you know, maybe get you a good balance going, and you can go from there. But anyway, this week I'd like to speak to you a little bit about some IRS issues. We're getting a little bit close to tax time, and one of the main things is that I'd like to remind people that you don't want to not file. That is the main thing. A lot of people will think because, you know, I'm going to have a tax liability, why file, you know, and basically what we're saying is, you know, let Uncle Sam catch me. You may not want to do that. The reason being is that if you're a W-2 employee or you have 1099s or whatever as self-employed, Uncle Sam has that information. And what's going to happen is somewhere down the line, Uncle Sam's going to send you a letter. And many times he's already done your return for you. And he's not going to use the most advantageous status or whatever. You know, he's going to do basically a basic return. And if you happen to have a dependent exemption or something that you may be qualified to take, it may not be there. Also, what's going to happen is he's also going to potentially either put a lien on your bank account or potentially garnish your wages. So what I'm saying is, please go ahead and take care of the business. Don't stick your head in the sand. I said there are, you know, plenty of tax preparers out here, especially myself, and we can make sure that you're compliant. And that's the main thing, is to be compliant. Because even after you deal with Uncle Sam, you also got to deal with Mr. North Carolina. And like I said, and it's the same thing with him. He's not going to really give you the best shake on things. The other issue is that even though you may have a liability, you do have, as long as you're compliant, you do have rights and you do have remedies for this kind of thing. They know they cannot get blood out of a turnip. So if you cannot pay that liability, I say you could be, you know, eligible for a installment agreement. Many times for, you know, for as little as, you know, $30, $40, $50 a month, that or some of that nature. Also, if you for some reason have some kind of hardship, such as you lost your job, or for some reason have some kind of, you know, some other extenuating circumstances, it's a possibility that those debts can, that tax liability could be set aside for a period of time, or put in what they call uncollectible status. Okay. The other option is potentially getting what they call, doing what they call a offer and compromise. What this does is allow you to pay your tax liability off at a, for a lower amount than what was actually assessed on that tax return. And usually there are some extenuating circumstances usually that will, that has to go along with that for them to consider an offer and compromise. Most of the time, if they think you can pay for it, most likely you're going to be advised to do a installment agreement. But the offer and compromise is there for you. Many of your high dollar type folks that have these very large tax liabilities, they take advantage of that offer and compromise. But one thing I want to say to you is, don't stick your head in the sand. If you have issues, okay, take care of them. I'm here available, and just like to offer my services to you. And he says Hinton, Reginald Hinton, CPA. And I'm on, this is 317 South Garnett Street, 252-432-2684. And like I said, come by for consultation, don't cost you nothing. But have a great day and a wonderful holiday season.
Yes, I'd like to thank Mr. Hinton for once again helping us out with our finances. Very informative stuff. I'd also once again like to send the prayers out to my home state of New Jersey, all those affected by Hurricane Sandy, all over the East Coast, but primarily my heart lies at home. So you guys stay strong and everybody keep supporting and keep giving us your prayers. All right, but with all that being said, I would like to thank you for tuning in to the program this week. I hope it was very informative to you. I hope you some questions that you may be able to kick around at the dinner table, or when you're at the barbershop, or the beauty salon, or out on the golf course, at the basketball court, at the football game, on Sundays, when people are sitting around and they jaw-jacking about other things. Maybe you can bring up some subjects that we talked about. Next week's program, and this is a good one right here. Next week's program, Mr. Hinton will love this one. I don't know if he'll weigh in on it, but next week's program is entitled Finances. Do finances affect behaviors in a relationship? Y'all want to pay attention to this one, and I think y'all, I don't want to start nothing in my household, but yeah, that's what next week's program is on. I'd just like to, once again thank Qasim Samad at Mad Bass Studios for the music. I'd like to thank the Newark Anti-Violence Coalition for the footage from the Occupy Broad Street. I also like to thank Ross Baraka, Mary Baraka, everybody that was involved with the movement that gave people the strength. And I'd like to thank you, because without you, none of this would be possible. So once again, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. And remember, contact that Red Cross and see what you can do to help other people. Because by helping other people, you help yourself. We've come too many miles forward to go back. And we're not going back. All right? We'll see you again next week. And remember, tune in to our program and get the real information. Peace.
Will we develop positively, or will we be consumed by the external forces of destruction and the internal forces of self-destruction. We have to stop the murder in our community. We must make it clear, it must become part of our culture that it's wrong for a brother to kill a brother. We must make that our watchword. We must make that our slogan. We must not kill our brother. We must not kill our sister. We must not kill our people. We must protect our people.